Good morning, gang. Happy Wednesday over on this channel. So, like I said on the live stream last night, two for today. You get one on this channel, one on the other channel. So, like the title says, throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Anybody else getting the idea that panic is starting to set in Washington? Okay, maybe not only in Washington but around the world. The leftist socialist governments of the world are starting to freak out. The World Economic Forum is starting to freak out because finally the people in the world are starting to push back. Okay, you're seeing more yellow vest protests in France. You're seeing the Aussies, thousands, tens of thousands of people protesting in the streets against, these ridiculous lockdowns and stuff they've been going through for over a year. In the U.S., we're not seeing the protests like you are in the other countries. So what we're seeing, and at least this is my observation, is the Democrat, the Biden administration, Pelosi and Schumer, so the Democrats, the government that we have at the moment, throwing everything against the wall to see what sticks. Okay, we're going to thumb our nose at the Supreme Court about, they said the eviction moratorium doesn't work, and they're going to try it anyway. The whole speech last Thursday where Biden, basically, you're going to do what I say, get right up in everybody's face and, act like a dictator and say, I'm going to mandate the vaccines all over the place. And of course, now, as we all said, it was going to wind up going through the courts, and the courts are already starting to come out and say, as well as the governors and the states and everybody are saying, no, Joe, not happening. But that didn't stop Joe from doing it, even though he knows, the DNC knows that everything they're trying to do is unconstitutional. All right. The latest one is, now Biden is, very quietly after the Second Amendment again. He wants to get into this world, what's the word I'm looking for? An international arms registry for anybody. So any weapon that is purchased by an American that's manufactured overseas is going to have to be registered. We already saw a week or two back, the sanctions put on buying any Russian ammo. Now it's going to, okay, so, and I commented at the time, it's like, okay, big deal. You think they're not going to do this? It's like, all right, they'll send the ammo from Russia to, I don't know, Belarus and send it from Belarus, and then it's fine, So, now it's going to put restrictions on anything that you buy from any other country. I think, this personal opinion here, but I really think that the left here in the United States knows their time is numbered. I think, there's been plenty of video and audio and interviews with Democrat operatives, staffers or anything like that, who think they are going to get destroyed in next year's election. That it's going to be an overwhelming sweep for the Republicans. Now, the big catch is this why they're doing everything? Because do we make it to November 2022, or have they completely blown up the country by then? And I think that might be the plan for the Democrats, is they know we've only got a real short window. Because if we don't get this done between, here it is, September 15th, 2021 and November 3rd, 2022, we aren't getting another chance. Because Biden's going to have both sides, he's going to lose both houses of Congress. That's pretty much a given. Okay. Chances are, as soon as that happens, he's impeached for the whole Afghanistan debacle, let alone what other screw-ups he makes in the next 16 months. Okay, so chances are he's going to get thrown on his ass. that puts, the cackling hen in the White House, and, it'll take her about 20 seconds to screw something up on her own. So they know they've got to do whatever they possibly can to completely change this country, and they've got 16 months to do it. That's scary. They're already thumbing their nose at the Constitution. The other video this morning, if you've already seen that one, unless you watch this one first, indoctrination, better than half, about 60%, was it 57%, I think it was, of Democrats think the biggest threat to America is conservatives. Okay? Not terrorism, not communism, conservatives. But this is the dumbing down of America that they've been working on for so long. And they're succeeding. They've got all these sheep following. And fortunately, there are enough awakened people, not woke people, awakened people, i.e. us, who see this, who have the ability to use the squirrel cage, that this isn't right. Somebody in the live stream last night I had noticed says that, friends of theirs were over here from Poland and first generation and think that Biden is the greatest thing that ever happened to the United States. And I'm guessing these people are not ones that supported Poland under Soviet rule and not solidarity in Lech Walesa. Okay, because Joe Biden is probably the biggest disaster that the United States has ever had. And that's saying a lot, because we only had Obama 4 years ago, who far and away was the biggest disaster ever. Okay. But this is what we're looking at, guys. Throwing the baby out with the bathwater. They are going to throw anything and everything at us, and we need to be prepared for that in the next year and a half. They're going to do whatever they can to kill the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, change voting. Okay. Here we're supposed to find out today, probably find out today, about who wins California. But the whole thing with Gavin Newsom is Gavin Newsom can make vote by mail California law, and he probably will, whether he wins or loses, as soon as the election's over, because he didn't want to do it beforehand because anybody use it against him. But chances are he'll sign that today or tomorrow, and vote by mail will now be California law. Okay, so they're going to change that. They want to make it so voter fraud is easier. Not voting is easier, voter fraud is easier. But these are the colossal changes that the Democrats are trying to radically change America before they lose power. Because if they can do all this, undoing it is difficult. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So just be prepared. It's going to get, the next year is going to be insane with some of the stuff that we wind up seeing in the news and talking about. We think that some of the stories that we've discussed in the last year, just on this channel, let alone in life, they're discussed in God knows how many years. You think those are crazy? Just wait. They're just getting started. It's going to get brown shirts. Yeah, that's coming. Insane. But when you got a cat cornered, it's going to fight. And the Democrats are cornered. They know it. They didn't think that this coronavirus scamdemic was going to go as poorly as it did. And they thought, 70% will be no big deal, and they'd have their depopulation problem solved. It didn't work. And now they've got to figure out a different way to do it. So, lots to think about, guys. Have a good Wednesday. Pinball out.